Hello and welcome to Mystical Adventures. This is Anne. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited about tonight's show. I have a guest on with me. My paper's falling over here. I have a guest on with me I'm so excited to tell you about in a little bit. She's a Reiki master, and she is going to give us some energy shielding techniques in today's show, Michaela Feliciano. So I hope you stick around and go on this mystical journey with us to Reiki healing and shielding techniques, helping to protect your energy. I'm just going to go over a few quick announcements first. Just to remind you, I have a guided meditation on my YouTube channel to guide you on a journey through shape-shifting. If you haven't checked that out, please visit Creative Psyche Studio YouTube channel. The links are on my Facebook page and website, creativepsychestudio.com. Remember when we talked about shape-shifting last show and I shared with you my shape-shifting intuitive art portal? We talked about how changing into your spirit animal helper can help you gain guidance and support and spiritual understanding for how to adapt and change and receive divine guidance for helping you adapt and change and see things from a new perspective spiritually. And I talk all about that in my last show. And I guide you through the guided meditation mystical adventure of shape-shifting in this pretty short guided meditation. And I did most of the music myself. I have my intuitive art there and I do the narration myself. So check it out if you haven't already and let me know what you think. Let me know what animal spirit helper came to you that you got to shapeshift into. And I also want to remind you, I have the March Tarot video on my YouTube channel. It's also on my Facebook page. If you haven't checked that out, I pull some cards and tune into the energy for each zodiac sign for March. And it's still March, so I'm still reminding you that that is a free video for you to check out and get a more personal collective guidance for March 2021. I want to share with you the spirit helper of this week. The Divine Feminine blessed us again with her guidance and blessings and advice for the week. We are in the final couple weeks of Pisces, the final few weeks of winter up here in the Northern Hemisphere. And not this Saturday, but next Saturday is the spring equinox, and the sun changes to Aries. So for right now, we're still in Pisces, and it's the time of Pisces, which is the sign of the ocean, of the sea. And I feel a very oceanic, mystical energy around this time of year in March. And I wonder if you feel it too. I've also noticed a big energy shift personally. I was warned by Spirit I would be lower energy in the next couple weeks because I'm being tuned up, and I definitely am. So I don't know if you can relate, or it's just me personally, but I have also felt that mystical Piscean water energy and intuitive, spiritual cleansing vibration. Have you? So a mother goddess, an ocean mother came to me when I tuned in for this week's spirit helper. And her name is Sedna. She is a sea goddess, an ocean mother in Inuit mythology. And she, in this myth, there's a lot of different variations in the different subsections of where the Inuits were, but in the different geographical groups of people. But there's this myth about Sedna that she falls over the side of a kayak, the side of a boat, and somehow loses some body parts. Her fingers get chopped off in several of these versions of this myth. And her fingers turn into seals and sea creatures, whales, and she becomes ruler of the sea, and she lives on the bottom of the sea. And she is the divine mother of the sea in the Inuit tribe. So she has a version of shapeshifting herself, doesn't she? Speaking of shapeshifting and mythology. And so she's a beautiful, feminine, divine feminine energy entity you can tune into that is associated with cleansing, abundance, intuition, helping you with any of these areas. So you might notice this week that these areas come up, the need to cleanse, the need to focus on prosperity, and the need to listen to your intuition. She's also associated with shamans in some Inuit tribes and traditions, and the shaman would shape shift into a fish and swim down to the bottom of the ocean to comb her hair to show affection, and this would be part of the ritual to receive her blessings so that she would help bestow the tribe with food from the sea, hence the prosperity, abundance association with her. And it's funny, when I saw her come to me, I did see her hair and see this goddess figure in the sea and feel her hair as well when I felt her energy. So I think there's definitely something there with the her mythological hair and the image of her associated with that in the sea. So here's her message to us for this upcoming week, and then we'll get to our beautiful, fabulous guest, Michaela. So she says, this is from Sedna, the Inuit Ocean Mother. The goddess of the waves catches all the tears of the world. I cry with you when you are sad. My arms reach wide around you to surround you and comfort your soul. The ocean breathes life into the world this day, and there are many ocean creatures who feel the love of the Mother Earth, of the sun, and of the holy ones. You are loved by all of the holy ones, dear child. It is important to stay attuned to the frequencies of Mother Earth at this time. The sea does her part to whisk away one's tears and helps the world to find solace. It is important that we work together as a planet, as a global community, to reinstate a love for the earth and for her inhabitants. This week, allow your tears to be washed away so that you may comfort someone else. Allow your tears to be cleansed so that you may live free and without sorrows attached to your frequency. Allow yourself to put down on paper what bothers you and release it. Allow yourself to let go of all that does not serve you. The sea aids in the world's effort to find a path to holy peace, to a global community of togetherness. Thank you, Sedna. And I hope you found that inspiring, that message from Sedna, to try and find a way to cleanse and release and align with the divine energies of the earth and the sea and the sky and spirit this week. I want to now introduce my delightful guest, Michaela Phillipsiano. I almost said her name wrong, but then I didn't, and I caught myself. Michaela Feliciano. She is the owner of Love and Light Work, LLC. She is a Reiki master. She lives in Connecticut with her husband, 3 children, and all of their animals. She has created worksheets for children and adults with special needs, special gifts, worksheets for folks, both children and adults with special gifts, and also for kids with loved ones who have traumatic brain injury, known as TBI, and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. She currently has a course for sale, Spirituality and Discovering Your Inner Self. And that is all at loveandlightworksllc.com, which we'll go over again at the end of the show. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Michaela onto my show. Welcome, Michaela.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
I'm so blessed you came on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Enjoying the sun. It's beautiful outside.
The sun has finally come out here in New England, and we are rejoicing. It feels like spring. So, Michaela, I was wondering if you could just tell our audience a little bit about your background and what got you into Reiki and healing.
Yeah. So Reiki, I was literally, it was put into my life. My mom was a Reiki practitioner. You know, it used to be her thing. And after she had passed away, kept getting this pull. This is what you need to do. So I literally went through all the courses up to master. And then I opened my practice literally, I think like a month or two after I got all my certificates. And I've been practicing since, and it's been 4 years now. I've had my LLC.
Oh, that's fantastic. The healer tradition is a family tradition.
Yeah. Yep.
And do you feel like you have learned anything unique from your mother being the first Reiki master in your family?
No, because I was young and I didn't listen to anything. Yep. She kept trying to like point me towards stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, Mom, that's yours. You do that. Yeah, nope. Didn't listen at all.
Well, that's what we do when we're young and rebellious, don't we? We buck the authority and we want to do it our own way.
Yep. Yep. I always thought, like my mom had special gifts and stuff. That was her thing. Never thought I was capable.
And so how did you come to understand you are capable?
I've always had, I say, gifts since I was little, and I kind of blocked it off because they scared the heck out of me, and some scary stuff happened. But when I got older, I found it a lot more beneficial, and to stop blocking just everyday stuff that would happen to me. Yeah.
So you used to suppress it and block it and try and find a way to keep that out of your consciousness. And you finally sort of like gave in. Okay, I do have these gifts. Let me start embracing them.
Yes, exactly. And with the Reiki and then the worksheets, I just started, how long ago? Let's say about a year ago when everything happened with this virus. And I started homeschooling my little guy, and he had questions. So I started making worksheets for him, and it just kind of rolled into more stuff. And then I started creating courses. I did create another one that I did not tell you about. It's understanding being an empath for adults, which
Ooh. Oh, that sounds very, very appropriate and relevant to so many people tuning in right now. I'm sure there's a lot of great support for empaths in the course. Tell us a little bit about the worksheets that you've created.
Yes, the worksheet. So the ones about understanding your loved one with traumatic brain injury or PTSD. I live with my spouse who is disabled veteran, and just having the worksheets and being able to explain it to children. I wanted them to have something because it's really hard for the children, as long as the caregiver or wife or spouse or whoever's there as well, to really understand what's going on if you're not familiar with it. And then the other ones I did for children with gifts. So I have the empathic children, highly sensitive children. And then I also did children Reiki, and then children chakras. But the worksheets can be for adults and children. But it's the way it's worded, it's more children. And they're actually fun. They have pictures and then spaces to write stuff.
Well, I think that's so important to spread awareness and support and education to children who have parents with these conditions. And I just feel your empathy, Michaela, being someone who is in a caregiving position, who knows about, he has experienced being a loved one with someone who has these challenges, and children who have a loved one with these challenges. And so I can see just your love and support and expertise in not just learning about it, but living it come out through these worksheets, and also as your expertise as a Reiki healer. speaking of empath, it's such a gift to be an empath in order to offer healing. I want to talk a little bit more about this. I do see we have a caller. Do you mind if we switch over to the caller and then spend a couple last minutes talking about this at the end?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we have a caller on the line, Cheryl in Palm Beach, Florida. Speaking of Mother Ocean. Hi, Cheryl. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
This is Anne speaking, and I have my guest Michaela on. She's a Reiki master. Is it okay if she tunes into your energy to answer your question today?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Definitely.
Cheryl, do you have a specific question, or did you want a general reading?
Just a general reading. I'm just interested to see what you find or can say.
Great. So Michaela is going to go ahead and tune into your energy, and she will be offering you some guidance.
I'm picking up a blockage in the throat chakra, and the heart chakra feels kind of heavy to me.
You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
The throat chakra feels a little close to me, and the heart chakra feels kind of heavy, like a weight.
Oh, yeah.
And like with the throat chakra, I feel like there's something that needs to be said but isn't being said. Does that make any sense to you?
I didn't hear the last part because you keep breaking up.
Did you hear me, Anne?
Can you hear?
Yeah, she said that Cheryl, she felt like there was something that needs to be said that you haven't said yet.
That I need to say something that hasn't been said yet?
Yeah.
And then the
I don't know.
heart, it feels very heavy to me.
So when you say my heart is heavy, do you mean like mentally or physically?
Just your chakra and what I'm feeling. So I feel it is your energy. I don't really get specific on what that subject might be. So I just pick up the energy that I'm reading off of your body.
I mean, I've had a lot of heartache for all my years, and I'm just now learning how to deal with a lot,
So maybe that's what you're tuning into, Michaela, that she's had. Cheryl, you've had kind of a lot of heartache, so maybe it's processing those heartaches and losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's had a lot of death in the family, in the last 20 years. I think about 7 or 8 people really close to me have died. So.
Oh my gosh.
Family,
And do you feel like you've been able to grieve? That's a lot, Cheryl. Do you feel like you've been able to grieve those losses?
I have, but I just like to see if you're okay, mainly, on the other side now.
Well, I'm just tuning into your energy, Cheryl, and I feel like it would be helpful for you to clarify your energy a little, to maybe make some plans to go out or have more of a plan for what you want to do with various projects. And it feels like, to me, your energy is a little bit what am I trying to say here? It feels like you have a lot of love to give, Cheryl. And, it's funny that Michaela was tuning into your heart, because I think there's heartache there because you have so much love to give, and you are a giver and Yeah, and it feels like, you love to take care of people and you don't like to spend time on yourself. And it feels like, Spirit is saying that it's good to spend some time and mental energy on yourself and figure out what you want and make more plans. I wonder if that's what maybe Michaela was tuning into with the throat chakra, which is really also about will, like tuning into your own will. Cheryl, does that make sense?
That really sounds, spot on. It really does. Yeah, because I'm a caregiver. Yeah, I take care of everybody.
So how are you going to find some time for yourself and figure out what you want and do something for you?
Yeah, exactly. I think I will.
I'm wondering, Michaela, do you have any suggestions for her energetically? What might help Cheryl with just, working with that heavy heart energy and all of the death and all the caregiving and kind of clarifying her will?
With all the death, I would suggest maybe doing something small for remembering these individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Just to honor them. And for yourself, I mean, to do what you enjoy, you have to make time for yourself because you're going to run out of energy. Just either, even taking a bath, like a bubble bath or with oils, or going to the ocean and just soaking in the negative ions.
Too, going to the ocean.
And here comes Mother Ocean again. Well,
exactly.
That sounds lovely. And that's a power place on the earth to connect with the ocean power and earth power and the natural cleansing of such a powerful element, the water. Cheryl, we do need to wrap up for today, but I hope that was helpful, my friend.
It was very helpful, and I really thank you for calling me. I'm really excited. Thank you, guys.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, so glad you called. It's so good to hear. Have a lovely night, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
So I want to just give Michaela an opportunity to tell people about what's going on with her and how they can find out more about your projects and what you offer.
Okay. I offer Reiki in office or virtually, so I can see anybody around the world. And then I also have my worksheet, my courses, and everything is compiled at loveandlightworksllc.com. Oh, and I also have a podcast which goes over some of the things that the worksheets have, but I have other episodes in there as well.
Thank you so much, Michaela. I suggest everybody go check out Michaela's website, loveandlightworksllc.com, and check out her worksheets, her courses, her services. I so appreciate that you came on the show today, Michaela. Thank you so much. And yay, thank you for tuning in today. I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a beautiful, blessed week and connect with the ocean, connect with the earth.